am moving apps that we were hosting on shinyapps.io to Posit Connect instances of that data. That's why it's actually at this interactive.libd.org, which is where which will be the URL for all the apps going forward. And and also, just so you know, and you don't have to worry, like any apps that you've made and have deployed, probably, in the next week or so, will end up getting redirected away from shinyapps.io to here, to the version that we have here. So your apps, the links, the URLs, all that stuff will still work. So it's just sort of going to be some magic that sort of happens behind the scenes. But one of the apps, this app from 2021 that for the SACC, which Leo said we do need because it's part of one of the manuscripts and packages, is I have an error when I load the the data on Posit Connect, and so when I load it, it kind of loads like this, where it seems to be going through the normal loading process, and then after 15 or 20 seconds or so, it pops up and it looks like it's loading. It does this, and then immediately it pops up and says, redirected from the server. And then I go back to the logs, and yeah, this this is and then I'm getting the error. And so Leo said it would be a good idea that we can sort of take this
Oh,
as sort of a group learning session, I guess, right?
yeah. And so last time when we looked at this app, you had the data loaded locally, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and if sorry, can you open in local script?
Yeah.
And if you scroll further down to when we actually run the app, if you disable their line 165, which is the initial equal initial object,
Yeah.
then the app runs, right?
Yeah.
And so at this point, we know that there's a problem with all of that initial code. We're pretty sure that the problem is related to the complex heat map. And so the next step is to actually remake the initial.R with the latest versions of iSEE. And so for that, we'll need you to run the app locally with the initial disabled.
Okay.
And we'll need you to also open the app that works at shinyapps.io.
So one of the other 2021 Tran 2021 apps.
Not from interactive.libd.org, but from shinyapps.io, where it
Ah,
works. And so the process that we're going to go through is like the process that you go through if you're setting up an iSEE app from the very beginning, right? Which is you'll run an iSEE app without any customization, and we'll see how we can customize it.
you want me to run it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's running on the browser. And like in this case, we're just going to try to carbon copy as much as we can the aspects that we have here on this already pre-configured lab. So we'll alternate between looking at this one that is, running correctly, but with an older version of iSEE, and what we need to configure on the newer version. So can you run the app locally without the initial.R?
Yeah.
I think you need to stop it because
Yeah.
you were running the version that has an error.
Yeah.
Now, the behavior that you've seen on interactive.libd.org, where it kind of loads and then crashes out, that's because you're actually running into an error.
Yeah.
So can you open this on the browser just so we can see them, like just alternate tabs?
I'm afraid if I do that it's going to do that thing where it opens up a bunch of tabs and will basically crash my computer.
No.
Okay. All right. I've been having problems with that with RStudio, with clicking any of these things that open up tabs. But yeah. Anyway.
So this is an app that has no real customization. We don't see any colors, all of these panels, etc. So let's go back to this other one. And on the very top, on the far right side, there's these organized panels. So let's just see how we only have reduced dimension plot one, complex heat map, row data table, and feature assay plot. So on your next tab, you try to organize them the same way.
Reduced, complex, Row data feature. Row data feature asset.
So the last 4 you can delete. Now, before you close this, go back to the previous tab, and you can see here that iSEE has this configuration of what is the width that you want to give these panels. The maximum of is 12. So we have here this at 6. I think all of the 4 panels have a width of 6, I think.
And a height of 600, yeah.
Yeah, the number of pixels. So you'll need to do this also for the next 2 panels for the reload. I think it's also 6 and 600, but it's, you know.
Yeah, I'll check for you. But oh no, 4. Oh, it just says 400 over here. Yeah, 600. Yeah. Okay.
So now you can apply settings. So next, let's look at the one on the left, where we have a set of colors. So let's click on data parameters. We'll see that we have PCA corrected dimensions 1 and 2. We probably have this one. Cool.
Yeah.
So let's look at visual parameters, and it says color by color and shape. So we need to enable shape too. Column data. The color by is by the cell type variable, and the shape by is probably also column data. Oh, no. There's nothing. Never mind. Well, selection parameters probably has nothing on the left. This is if you want to make them.
Oh, it does say it's restricted to columns.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So you can hide these tabs. Boom. So now that should mostly look similar.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. So let's leave the heat map at the end because that's a more complicated one.
Yeah.
So let's go to a row data table.
Yeah.
This probably has like nothing on it. And you can see that it has no selections. Cool. Now, but the row data table will influence what we provide to the panel on the right on the feature assay plot.
Yeah.
The only thing that the row data table might have on the left is maybe a search already. There's nothing on the search. Cool. So that looks pretty empty. Cool. So let's look at feature assay plot. And we can see that we have these colors and they're colored by cell type. So that probably on data parameters and visual, we're going to have to change a few of these ones. So we see that we have SNAP25 as a selected gene. Then we have the dynamic selection on the y-axis enable, use dynamic feature selection from the y-axis. And so on the left side, it looks like we actually have a gene selected on the table. Or we just search on the right side, sorry, let's search for SNAP25 and select it on the right side, on the right tab, sorry.
Oh, it changed. Oh, because this thing is, yeah.
I think it's because you have like a gene selected on the table.
Yeah. I don't know how you can get.
Oh, well, just search for it on the bar.
Okay.
This search is text sensitive, so you have to type it in capital letters.
Okay.
And then you just erase the text from the search, such that like the table is shown completely, not like. So that's the status of what we have actually on the left table, on the left tab.
Yeah.
X-axis though, we need to have it by cell types. So where it says X-axis, select column data and just select cell type. Visual param, so we're getting there, but now we need to add the colors. So color by, let's color by column data and also cell type. So that looks pretty much the same. We might have changed the point size, which I don't think we did, because we don't have the size selected on the left tab.
Yeah.
So now we have most of these panels ready. We need to do the more complicated one, which is the heat map. So in the heat map, under data parameters, we actually have to give it a set of genes that we like. So where it says edit feature names, you're going to be able to have on the left side, on the left tab, you're going to be able to see a list of names on edit feature names, and you're going to be able to just copy all of that. So now it's kind of making a heat map, but it looks pretty not great. So now we need to do a few more things. We didn't cluster rows, but we did add some annotations. And so we are annotating in a specific order of cell type first, then donor second. Okay. So now that seems to have crashed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, and we got the error that, oh, so, at this point, this is probably an error that we could report to iSEE as a GitHub issue. And we could also search. What was the error message again? Something.
Error in length. Put it in the chat.
Sorry, can you show me your code? Can you search on your script register?
For what?
Just search the word register.
Register. Doesn't look like it's in here. Yeah.
So how many unique colors do we have on the vector cell colors after removing the drop? So you have it on the very end, lined. I can't really see the numbers. 178, I think. 70, no, 173. That vector,
Yeah.
do the length of it. So just stop the app on the console.
Yeah.
And if you do the length of that vector, how many elements do we have?
Length of the cell type.
Cell under the full code that you have on line 173,
Okay.
25. Cool. So before you actually call the iSEE function, can you write some code where you say C underscore small, which is the object?
Okay.
No, not all the way up.
Like in the actual in here
Just before you call the iSEE function.
before the okay. It's like here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're gonna assign to this object the function register options with app the capital A as capital.
Okay.
I'm gonna provide the name again, SC underscore small, and then the option color dot max levels.
Color dot
Max levels.
like that because it didn't pop up as a suggestion. So
Yeah, that's okay. Equal
Okay.
to, and then the code you just wrote on the console. So, like this is based on an issue from the past that I reported to them, and then they have this option of like if you have too many colors, specifying like what is the maximum number of colors. So run that line of code, and then let's try launching the app again, and we'll immediately try to edit the number of colors on the heat map. So just open it in the browser. You don't need to organize the panels, just on the heat map, on the visual parameters. Let's say annotation by cell type and
donor. Yeah, that worked right away.
cool. So I think you now know.
Yep.
I think you can go ahead. Let's just finish making the heat map identical to the previous one, because we didn't actually get to finish.
Can I just use the initial that's in here then? Like since
I'm not sure because there
okay.
were lines of code that changed. I mean, you could give it a try.
Okay. I was just wondering if there's some warnings, but it did load.
So maybe that's all that was needed. And so like iSEE behind the scenes has this issue of like you can't have that many colors by default.
Okay.
Um,
So you actually have to like set that as an option.
yeah, sometimes. So I'll post.
So why do you have any, is it just a version thing or something like that? Because like on this version, I didn't change any of the options or anything like that, right? I just copied the code, the app code from the project that's on shinyapps.io right now.
So the bug that I reported, the GitHub issue that I just posted on Slack on the Arsons Club channel, that bug I opened it on July 19th, 2022. And this app was deployed before that.
Okay.
So, and we know for sure that over time, since 2020, 2021, they've made changes to the heatmap internal code. So I don't really remember when things broke.
Okay. But it was sometimes between 2021 when it was deployed and 2022. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But like the fact that there's still an error right now and that error message is pretty bad, I think highlights that it would be good to make a new GitHub issue, saying like, hey, like if you run this, we actually get this error message that is like super hard to interpret. Because the error message that I posted in 2022 is a different error message. And so if you actually search on the full list of GitHub issues for the error message that you got, you don't actually see it. So I think it would be good to report it.
Okay.
Right. And like, boom. So that's this one app, and you had another similar issue with another iSEE app.
Yeah.
So the solution might be the same here.
What was it? The shiny, the lateral septum. There it is. Here, up. Like it's not actually closing, but I am getting some.
So this one says something about
this is a different one. Oh no, never mind. I forgot to change the working directory. There we go.
A different type of. It says an invalid color map.
Yeah, color map missing an experiment. Okay.
Whole data sample in color map. So let's look at the code that you have for the app that we just edited, the one from Tran, which worked. Like just at the very bottom. So this is where we have experiment color map, that function that defines a cold data. And in that cold data, we give it a list of variables. We say donor and then cell type. Each of those elements of the list are actually functions that take an argument n. And so here we're kind of doing the similar thing and defining sample. Now you have commented out the sample ID equals.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way, again, I didn't change that, but yeah.
Yeah. So can we look at this one has an initial.R, right?
Yes, I think I should, or else it would be,
yeah. So one thing you could look at it here is like try to see like what are things colored by. So it says color by column data equals sample uppercase underscore ID uppercase. Well, you moved the things.
Oh, sorry.
I'm having a really hard time like reading your line numbers. Line 25, I think. So you see there color by column data sample underscore ID. So I think that's what we need to actually color by things. So on your add.R script where it says call data equal that list, I think you have to call it instead of sample, just call it sample underscore ID with capital letters just to match. And like try and run it now.
Yeah, looks like it's working.
Is that all it has? Just a raw data table and a feature assay plot?
I could double check, but like I said, I didn't change any of the apps.
I mean, no, might be a pretty simple app.
Bulk.
The name is bulk seek.
Oh, bulk seek.
Instead of bulk.
Yeah.
And you're downloading it.
Yeah.
Reflex.
Yeah. I did a whole bunch of those, so yeah. I mean, he's getting the same
Even
error.
the old version had that same error.
Yeah, and it's just the raw data and the feature assay plots.
Cool. So that might be all the fix you needed there.
Okay, great.
So debugging iSEE apps. I guess some feedback for the authors of iSEE is that sometimes these errors are pretty, not easy to understand. And like as a summary, like the register app options function is useful if you have a lot of colors. Or a lot, I think it's like over 20 at any point. So anyone like making new iSEE apps probably will need to do that for, we typically have more than 20 clusters at some point. And then the other thing was the names of the list elements on the experiment color map have to actually be the same names that you're using later, right? So sample on the other app.R had to be sample underscore ID, not just sample capital S, lowercase, everything else. Right? It had to be this exact name that we have in the initial.
Yeah, but this call data thing, yeah.
Cool. So I think that's it then for today.